Welcome to the first episode of Supercar Showdown. This series is not about numbers. This series is not about performance statistics. This series is about how the car makes you feel and how the car feels on the track and how and why you should or shouldn't drive these cars or drive one of them or both of them in Forza 5. So, without further ado, we'll get right to the matchup, and I hope you guys enjoy the very first episode of what promises to be quite an awesome season of Supercar Showdown. It's back. It used to be in Forza Horizon, but it's back in Forza 5. Hope you guys enjoy. What is going on today, guys? Tomcat here, and today I am proud to officially bring back my Supercar Showdown series. Now, I did some of these a while ago in Forza Horizon, back when that first came out, and I feel like it's definitely a series that I really needed to bring back and bring over to Forza Motorsport 5 because of the fact there are so many just awesome cars that can go head-to-head against each other, and I am really excited to get into this. Now, for the first battle, we are going to be putting the new Aston Martin Vanquish up against the 2013 SRT Viper. Now, we will be setting off in the Vanquish first. I'm going to let you hear what it sounds like first, though, because it sounds amazing. Just absolutely amazing sounds from that V12. Now, launching the Vanquish, you kind of have to balance the revs, and, well, then keep in mind that I'm doing this on manual with clutch, so you're going to have to balance the revs around 4,000, and then drop the clutch, and then feed in the power. And it launches pretty well if you can get all those things to work together. Really first time experiencing this car in Forza, so definitely not a car I'm used to. Oh, there we go. Back end likes to slip out. Yep, back end likes to slide out quite a bit. God, that engine. That engine, though. Definitely one of the dominating factors of the car. I love the carbon fiber paddle shifters, too. How they're finished in carbon fiber, I think that's awesome. Last corner, or Gambon corner. Alright, let's go for it this lap. Into fourth. Dang, that engine, though. Definitely more prone to, I mean, it's a little bit understeery. I will say that it's a little bit understeery, and you can definitely cure that with oversteer. I mean, for example, heading into corner, get a little bit of understeer, and then you just get on the power, and the back end just steps out like crazy. And you just drift the thing everywhere. And that's really the most fun thing to do with this car, because it's such a beautiful car, and the engine sounds so amazing that you can't help but have fun with it. Like, that's just what this car's about. I mean, you could drive it, you know, all serious. You can grip in it around corners. You could drive it seriously if you want to. But wouldn't you rather do this? Because I know I would. Whip it out again. There you go. Yes. Oh, yes. That is completely stock, and it is going sideways all over the place. Oh, yes. When a car... Ooh, we've gone outside the line. Uh-oh. When a car can do that stock, it's just... To me, that's something special. When a car can just do that stock, you just step into it, and it'll go sideways like that stock. I don't mean, like, go a little bit sideways. I mean, it'll really kick the back end out and let you just have fun, especially in a supercar like this, where a lot of the supercars are, like, in this class at least, are very serious, and don't want you to do that all that much. it's really special to find one that does. It really is. And then when you get on the power out of corners, it just pulls and pulls and pulls with that V12. In fact, I'm actually going to go ahead and show you guys some of that V12's pulling power. Let me go ahead and get lined up. Alright. So we're going to basically do a, I guess not a top speed run, but just an acceleration run within the room that we have. And we'll also do a bit of a braking test just so I can show you guys how the brakes are in this car. So, just like we did before, balance it at about 4,000. Drop the clutch, hook up. Full throttle in a second. Actually, kind of said that after I went and changed in a second. That's 120, 130, 140, 150, and I'm braking. I definitely could have gone a little bit faster, but I just want to show you guys what that thing sounds like and feels like when you're just running through the gears in a straight line. It's just amazing. Let's go ahead and change over to the Viper and see what happens. Alright guys, so we are now in the SRT Viper, and right off the bat you could see a very, 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 very different interior. Much more aggressive, much less luxurious. But from the outside, it's so aggressive. It's so mean looking. It's so, I mean, I would say it's beautiful to me, but I don't think beautiful is the right word. I think menacing is more the right word for the SRT Viper, because it is. It is. Everything about this car is really, really, just really well done on the design part of this car. It's so menacing. It's so aggressive. The wheels, the side pipes, everything about this car is menacing. I mean, the design of the rear end, everything. And also you've got the bubble design in the roof, specifically for helmet space, and is just a very, very well designed car. So, let's go ahead and set off in the Viper and see just right off the bat what the differences are. Now, first off, definitely the sound of the engine. Definitely. I mean, that's going to be obviously a no-brainer because we just stepped from a V12 into a V10. Some people prefer V12s, some people prefer V10s. Now, launching the Viper, I believe, is going to be... Now, we've got... I don't know. I was about to say it might be a little bit easier, but in fact, I think it might end up being a little bit harder because as you can see, well, maybe. You can't really see with the shadow, but the rear tires are way bigger than those on the Aston. Way bigger. But we've also got a lot more horsepower. 640 horsepower, 600 pounds-feet of torque. So, I mean, it could go both ways. So, I'm going to balance it around, I want to say around 5,000 RPMs. Drop the clutch, hook up. All the way to 62 in first gear. And that Viper logo that comes on before you shift is amazing. That is just an awesome detail. It really is an awesome detail. And you'd expect, though, that those big rear tires would keep this thing, you know, keep this thing from going sideways. Oh, no. Allow me to demonstrate, because, oh, no, they do not keep it from going sideways. And that's what I really like about this thing. It's a lot more, it definitely goes sideways a lot easier than the Vanquish. It's very raw compared to the Vanquish. The sound is raw. The feeling is raw. Everything about this car is very raw. I mean, it can get away from you, yeah, but, I mean, yeah, you have to be focused, but what a car to be focused on. Really, what a car to be focused on. I mean, get the, that wasn't well done. Oh, and if you don't, that happens. If you don't, you go off into the grass. That reminds me of Jeremy Clarkson's film when he reviewed the Viper. He actually spun off into the grass, too. In fact, he spun when he did it in, He spun off into the grass when he reviewed it in the UK, and he also spun it off into the grass when he reviewed it in the US, and I've gone into the grass again. But yeah, so, yeah, you will spin off in the grass when you first get your... Whoa, that was weird. Thing caught the car. But, you will spin off in the grass most likely when you first get your hands on this car, but, I mean, it is just... Whoa! It's just fun. It really is so fun. It's like driving a big muscle car. It really is. It's not, I mean, when I say big muscle car, I don't mean like big as in like an Impala SS409 or something along those lines. I mean big as in like it's branded as a supercar, yeah, but at its core, at its heart, this is a muscle car. No doubt about that. This is totally a muscle car. No, like I said, no doubt whatsoever. This is a muscle car labeled as a supercar. It's a muscle car in supercar clothing, and it shows, and it's not a bad thing. It's definitely not a bad thing, and it weaves all over the place. It'll go sideways at the drop of a hat, but dang, is it fun. And it sounds amazing, too. I mean, certainly the sound of the Aston is more refined, but then again, this is a lot more... it's definitely not a refined feeling car. It's a bit jumpy. It's a bit, I don't want to say unpredictable, because it's not unpredictable. It is kind of feisty, but it's not an unpredictable car. It's not something that's gonna, like, that feels like it's just gonna rip your head off all the time. I mean, and keep in mind that I have traction control off, stability control off, everything that I could turn off is off, so... We're definitely getting the full experience of this car here, but it's not like it's wanting to bite your head off all the time, but it will if that's what if that's what it feels is required. Whoa, okay, we plowed that time. Yeah, see, that's the thing. Sometimes if you don't set it up right, you can plow with understeer, but that's all that was driver error. That's total driver error. Not something that the car did. That was something that I did. No doubt about that. Something that I did. And you can drift it too. You can tell this thing, yeah, I want to go sideways, and it'll work with you because that's where this thing is most comfortable. When the tail end is hung all the way out, it's most comfortable going completely sideways. Now, to compare some things to the Aston, especially the sound and the feeling, the Aston feels very smooth, very, very smooth. This is a bit more, I wouldn't say clunky, but I would say, it doesn't feel, anywhere near as smooth or refined as the Aston does, but, I mean, you kind of have to expect that from from an American supercar with a V10 that is basically derived from a truck engine, so there are things that you have to expect going into this car. The Aston did have, I was actually surprised, because the Aston had a bit more understeer than this car does. I mean, the Aston will oversteer. Yeah, it will oversteer. It will drift when you want it to. No problems there, no doubt about that. But this car has a lot less built-in understeer than the Aston does. Now, the Aston, yeah, it's going to be more of a long-distance car. It's going to be more of a cruising car. That the Aston is a car that is more meant to cruise, but that can be taken to awesome speeds and can be taken up to that red line and that enjoys that. Whereas the Viper is something that wants to be at that red line all the time. All the time. No doubt whatsoever about that. Now, to sum things up, these two cars have very different personalities and some very, very good things about both of them, and some not so good things about both of them. Now, the Viper, very, very raw, very, very fun to drive, lots of power, very willing to work with you and get the tail out. However, it can be a bit of a handful at times, whereas the Aston is very, very smooth, very, very refined, very, still fun to drive, and has that amazing V12. But for me, this comparison has to go to the Viper. it has to go to the Viper. It really, really does. Just for me, I love the Aston. Don't get me wrong, I love it. But the Viper has that craziness to it. It has that lunacy to it that just makes it so insanely fun to drive. And I'm sure some of you will prefer the Aston, and that's totally fine. That's actually really awesome when people have their car that they like. Everybody has preferences, but for me, it's got to be the SRT Viper. So if you guys enjoyed this comparison review of the Viper versus the Vanquish, don't forget to leave me a like. Tell me in the comment section below if you would like to see more of these car showdowns in Forza 5. And if you're new to my channel, don't forget to subscribe for more. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Talk to you guys later.